Yeah, good morning, YouTubes. Wanted to show off my latest build that I've kind of been working on. It actually started off pretty lame. This V1 Limitless began with a Hobby Wing 1650 setup with a Max 6, and that was fun for a little while, but just recently I took a huge dive into a big rebuild, and I managed to fit it all under here, which is kind of crazy. So I wanted to show it off a little bit this morning. Looks a little nuts. Went from okay to ludicrous. So the XLX2 on top of this center brace barely fits underneath there. I had to actually take the fan out and put it over here, so this fan runs off the ESC and will turn on when it gets to a certain temperature. I think it's like 106 or something, I can't remember. And then this one runs all the time off the BEC of the ESC from the receiver, which I just upgraded to that fancy radio wing dual antenna RX8, whatever the hell. Shit, I don't remember. I'll have to put it in the comments below, or whatever the kids say what they do. So it's got, let's see, a 22 tooth spur gear, and I had the spool in there, but just didn't like the way it drove. So I put a chrome moly center diff in there with a 46 tooth spur gear, and it drives so much better like that. I put 20 million in there. I was gonna put earplugs in, but I wanted just a little bit more cush than earplugs, so I decided to go with the 20 million, and I think that matched up really well. These Power Hobby grippers have been standing up pretty good to the abuse I've been putting them through. Got the 52s on the back, and then the 42s on the front, so the backs are a full centimeter wider than the front. And nicknamed this guy Spider-Man because he's got some tacky shit. But been a blast to run, man. And then something that I did do with this new radio link setup that I put in here was on the channel 3 of the receiver. I put that on the AUX through the ESC to control your throttle or your maximum power output of the ESC. So I can dial it all the way down, which it is right now, and it'll barely go. Or you can crank it up to full tilt boogie and make an actual serious pass. But if for testing and having it on the bench, I thought that was pretty cool that I was able to put that on channel 3 right there on this remote to control the maximum power output of the ESC. And it's on ultra low latency because of the new badass radio link receiver, RC8X or something like that. I don't know the names of shit very well, so I apologize. I'll have to kind of go through and tell you what everything is down below. But I'm also, I guess I forgot about that, got the Raz's version 2 carbon fiber drive shafts. Version 2 for the V1. I didn't really want to get the V2. I figured I already have the platform, let's just work with what we got. So obviously I had to flip the motor 180 degrees, and I run it on 6S, just 22 volts, because this is the 2400 kV 8S Castle motor that does, gosh, is it 90,000 RPM or 100,000? I can't remember, but a stupid amount of RPM. So that's why I have it geared so reasonably, more armed towards torque than top speed for sure, with 2246 gearing, and it barely fits. I had to, like I said, I had to take the fan off right here because that was just too much height for the body to fit on top. Got the two antennas. One just runs out of the normal spot, and then I just put a small hole right in the box there to fit everything inside there, both antenna wires, and then the Castle Link system is in there. I have that to run out right here so that I can plug it into the old laptop and tune it. But one less thing I have to tune on the laptop now is the maximum output of the ESC. Now I can do that right on the remote. Thought that was pretty clever of me. I know guys are doing a lot cooler shit than this, but for my old ass, this isn't too bad. So if anyone else is thinking of turning their old V1 Limitless up to 11, it can be done. If I can do it, you can do it. And I've ran it quite a bit, and it's still holding up. I do like to run 8mm straight off of my battery. That's what these plugs are right here. So I can unplug this little bench test setup I have so that I can plug any battery I want into it that's got an EC5. So usually I'll run like a battery like this or something on the bench with a lot less voltage, just because this thing still scares the shit out of me. But when it's time to actually do some full pulls and some racing, we get into the old special sauce right here. And my drag battery is actually this guy. This is a 6S 6800 Gens Ace Basher Pro, and it's got 120C. So I'm not trying to break any land speed records. I'm just trying to put as much power to the ground as you can, and I don't know, I think 8S would be just a little too much for, you know, the setup and everything. I'd have to upgrade a lot more shit. So I just keep it on the single battery 6S, and then I run it direct off the 8mm bullets. I'll just unplug these, and then obviously we'll unplug that and we'll wire everything up direct with 8mm bullets, which is the same thing I do with this guy in series with two Monster 4S 11,000 batteries of these guys too, which I highly recommend. They barely fit in that thing, but they're pretty much made for that Creighton. So, oh, and then I forgot, this is the SA 1230 SG Savox servo, Savox, whatever you want to call it. Some guys like them, some guys don't. With this new Radio Link receiver, it is it makes no noise, no chatter. It chattered quite a bit when I had the old radio in it, which I was running the GT5 with this FS-BS6, which is a good gyro receiver. You know, if you don't mind the standard latency, which is about, I don't know, 14 milliseconds or so, 16 to 14 milliseconds. So it's crazy what it feels like when you hook it up to something fancy like this when you've only got the 3 milliseconds of latency. Stupid responsive. Been a lot of fun. I should try to get some running footage of it and post it on here next, but I thought I'd jump on here this morning and just kind of give off a little bit of a show-off video of what I did to my V1 and how I turned it up to 11 full tilt boogie status. Alrighty, you guys, this is Friday, the eve of Christmas, so my first day of actual vacation time, and woke up in a good mood. Had to do this for you guys. Had to do it for myself too, because I like showing off cool shit that I've done. And then here's a bunch of other junk too. So if there's anything you guys see, nothing is stock. I've turned up everything. So if you guys are curious on what I've done with any of these rigs, drop it down in the comments and I can do a rundown video. Been doing this for quite a long time, so I've got everything pretty dialed in as far as what can handle what, tires wise, electronics wise, batteries wise, connectors wise, and now I'm starting to dive into these fancy radios. And also got a Noble up there as the NV4 Pro, or no, I'm sorry, not the Pro, Unpro, just the NV4. And so I'm gonna be putting some, what do they call it? The enhanced receivers. And that guy, and probably that guy, because they've got the low latency as well with those enhanced receivers. So big difference that I can feel from running an RTR remote to the low latency digital stuff that these guys are able to do. Pretty impressed with this dual antenna thing, man. The range is stupid. I mean, I have not been able to top it out as far as, you know, running it until you've lost signal. I lose sight of it well before signal runs out. So I think that's gonna just about do it, J-Tib. So I hope you guys have a good holiday. Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll see you again soon.